You ever have a moment where you're like, I'm going all in, I'm gonna build this thing, and heck, I'm gonna get it tattooed on me. And then looking back, you're like, oh, thank God I didn't get that tattoo. I'm not going to go into deep detail on how to structure a coaching program that's premium and that has prospects salivating because I already talked about that in my last video. Today, I want to save you about 50 grand and a lot of the headaches that I went through learning this the hard way. Passive income, at least in the coaching industry, is at best a misunderstanding and at worst a bullshit lie. So, back in 2015, we found out we were expecting our second baby. When we found out, I realized we were going to have to make a pretty serious pivot. I even wrote about it in my column in Entrepreneur magazine. I did what any smart, motivated boss mama would do. I invested in some coaching and programs to learn how to take the speaking arm of our business, which was our revenue generator, entirely online. So I started building the machine. We spent hours in brainstorming meetings plotting out these uber complicated funnels. I mean, I was obsessed with automation. I burnt the midnight oil creating templates and a 5-day challenge and various steps along our ladder. I promised myself that it would all be worth it when I could take time off to just lie in bed and cuddle the baby while the sales poured in. When I got put on bed rest during the pregnancy, I welcomed the opportunity to work without distractions. In other words, I did the work. I didn't shy away. I built the funnel. But here's what happened next. Yeah, we made some sales, but they were nowhere near as many as we'd hoped. Like, not even a little bit. It was like a slap in the face. How could we who have a kick-ass program that actually works and delivers results to anyone who uses it, how could we who have the discipline to double down and do the work, we who came to the table coachable and invested in learning from the leaders in the digital marketing industry, how on earth could we end up just a couple of steps ahead of where we started? Yes, we made enough to cover our bills and stay profitable, but those profits were slender and certainly not what I had expected with all the elbow grease we'd put in. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that each step of our funnel, each $7 and $57 and $97 and $197 product required its own series of emails and ads and content marketing. I was in hell. I realized I was spending 80% of my time marketing and only 20% of my time, if that, doing the work that I so desperately loved. I mean, at some point I called up our funnel coach and I asked point blank, how on earth were they making this work? They explained that they used their smaller products and even their $2,000 program simply to liquidate ad costs. All their money was in their high-ticket back end. I almost threw my phone across the room. This is what kills businesses. Look, I am passionate, I am motivated, I am disciplined, I am not an amateur, and you know what? I wanted to quit. I wanted to ditch the whole thing and binge watch Netflix and cry and blame someone. It was not my best moment. Luckily, the universe had other plans for me. And I started to ask myself a single question. What if this was simple? You know what I discovered? It could be. And so we took this massive leap and turned off 80% of our marketing. Yeah, you heard me, just like cold turkey. And I shifted the way that I looked at my business. I stopped focusing on passive income because, spoiler alert, there is no such thing. Passive income makes sense if your zone of genius is marketing. And more than anything, you want to grow up and become an internet marketer. If that's your thing, awesome. Because this model of passive income means that you create your product and then never touch it again. The part everyone leaves out is that in order to make any money from said product, you got to market your ass off, which means you spend 80 or 90% of your time marketing. That wasn't me. I don't love the marketing. I love the coaching, the connecting, the growth, the personal development. And in my quest to stabilize my business, I actually did the opposite. So I switched my goal from passive income to active engaged leverage. I doubled down on automating the pieces that truly matter to our clients while opening up time and space to deeply connect, support, and engage with them. We started to see incredible results, both for our clients and ourselves. Profits quadrupled in the first 6 weeks. We had our first six-figure month. Holy I know. Think of it as overlapping circles, right? One circle is you, your gifts, your values, your purpose, your skills, and what lights you up. The other circle is your ideal client, who she is, her values, her purpose, her pain, and what's keeping her stuck and miserable. I've done a whole other video about this, so I'll link that here. But you want to build your business in the space where those two circles overlap. And truthfully, you can't know who your ideal client is or what your program or course should contain until after you've done the work of first figuring out who you are and what you've been put on this earth to do. This is not about your title or program name or tagline. It's not about what gender your client is or her age or her income level. It's about how your deepest values and skills connect up to make your offer an answer to her most fervent prayer. This isn't work for the faint of heart. I gotta tell you, it takes tremendous courage to show up this way and say, I want to help in this audacious, deep way. I'm going to show up and so are you. And I'm going to charge you 5 figures for my program because that buys me the freedom from stress, the resources, and the team that I need to truly create this life-changing transformation for you. And ultimately, that is what you're paying me for. If you're not saying this to your clients and showing up that way, you're missing out. Your pretty website or your complicated funnel isn't going to change your clients' lives. The truth isn't out there. It's in here. And if you're ready to see where your message and your belief system and your business model might not be fully aligned, then watch this video where I explain our process to help you get to your truth. Rethinking my business and my priorities this way changed my life. And now it's your turn. Remember, simple equals more profitable. Oh, and I just wanted to mention the happy ending to our story. In July 2016, I gave birth to our beautiful baby daughter in our bed at home. Her brother cut her umbilical cord and held my hand as the midwife tended to me. You can have whatever you want if you're willing to go deep inside and face your truth. Don't believe anyone who says otherwise. I'm Geeta Nadkarni, and you're watching the Be More Possible show. And now that you're clear what you're building, it is time to open up the floodgates and get a whole bunch of leads for free, even if no one's heard of you and you don't have an audience. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this next video.